So hi there, I'm Kelly, I'm Marketing Director at Bespoke, and I'm here today with Jordan Brooks, our Commercial Director, to have a really quick chat about all things Power BI. So I'm going to throw you straight into it, Jordan, and ask you to summarise, what is Power BI?
Thanks, Kelly. So in a nutshell, Power BI is a business analytics service as provided by Microsoft. The aim and the goal really that Microsoft have of Power BI is to provide users with interactive visualizations, business intelligence, so they have capabilities for data analytics within a real simple to use, intuitive environment. It's a cloud-based piece of software. I'm just going to show a couple of examples there that we use for demonstrations that allows users to overlay multiple data sources, analyze big data, and to create really impactful visualizations that brings data to life. So it's all about driving impact through insights. So actually consolidating data, presenting it in a really easy to digest format, and then allow people to make more informed business decisions and therefore drive impact.
Okay, so on that then, who should use it? And there's two elements to this question, because I'm thinking who within a business should use it and what types of businesses should use it?
Okay, well, I mean, it's an interesting question because actually, being as the global reach that Microsoft has, is that they claim that 98% of Fortune 500 companies in the US are using Power Platform, and Power BI is a key element of the Power Platform. So it ranges from huge enterprises, but all the way down to small and SME companies as well, because it's a great attachment to your Office 365 package. So and it's available. So I think the licensing chat is probably deserves its own video, but it's familiar and it's brilliant to, like I said before, bring data to life within any size organization, really.
Okay. And why would somebody use, say, Power BI over Excel? Because let's be honest, most businesses out there, not most, but many of them will be running their businesses on spreadsheets. So at what point in time would you decide that Excel was no longer the right kind of platform for you and you should move on to Power BI?
Yeah. Well, Excel's a great tool. I think that it really comes down to the use cases, especially how the industry shift over the last few years has been from just collecting data because everybody knows how important data is, to actually driving insights from that data. Excel it's not fit for purpose for providing analytics, especially when you've got multiple data sources and lots of data, for several reasons. One being because of the multi-user limitations, but the benefit of Power BI is, as it's cloud-based, multiple users are available to analyze and interrogate dashboards, which really it drives this phrase of the single source of truth. So when you bring something off the cloud onto an Excel spreadsheet, instantly you've got multiple sources of truth there because anybody can change that. Whereas Power BI is driven from a data model, which is the single source of truth that multiple people can interrogate. Additionally, it allows companies and IT teams to control and govern their data significantly better. So again, another phrase of shadow IT, which is where applications and Excel spreadsheets exist within a business to run processes, but sit outside of control of the IT team. So it's a really key benefit of Power BI, which is working with IT and business to bring those gaps together to say, well, if you have a need for some analytics, you should be using Power BI, not pulling it down off your systems into a standalone Excel spreadsheet. So very much driving, so moving from Excel to the cloud is sort of how we describe it to our clients.
Okay. And what would you say businesses can expect when sort of adopting Power BI?
Yeah, I think it's a really straightforward, intuitive tool. So it's very much I think somebody called it on a webinar we had with Microsoft last week. It's an upgrade from Excel. I think they called it the yellow Excel. So it's essentially it's built using the same principles and some of the same coding language within more of the data-driven functions within Excel. So it's a really sensible and sort of intuitive next step from spreadsheets. And it's really taken the next step of moving the business, moving our clients' businesses from Excel spreadsheets and people having that knowledge and essentially being in technical debt of, okay, that person knows how to use that tool, that spreadsheet, and if they were to leave the business or be on holiday, then it sort of grounds to a halt. Whereas things like Power BI and adopting it means that you start that process of getting rid of those reliances of people who have all that knowledge in their head.
And one thing that I know we're asked an awful lot is how easy is it to implement?
Yeah, it's very straightforward, and because of the way the licensing works, again, which is probably another video on its own, but it's very straightforward because particularly if you've got Office 365, Power BI Desktop with certain license types comes with that, so that you can start interrogating, playing with data straight away, and it's very much a platform that allows people in the business to adapt and use Power BI Desktop, and then allows people like us to help our clients with really more complex, sort of multi data driven and sort of really complicated artificial intelligence based reporting, but allowing us to sort of help with building the building blocks, providing the blueprint of that architecture is where we come in. But also, actually, it's once that you do that process and adopt it, it's really straightforward to get your hands on and get and understand it.
So it makes consolidating all the data much easier. Sounds like it automates processes. So essentially, you're getting fed data much more quickly, so you can make decisions faster.
Exactly, and I think that's one of the key things we talk about with our clients when we're talking about what do you want to get from your analytics, and it's all about putting insights into the hands of more people so that people can make more informed decisions, and doing that quickly. And as I said before, making sure it's from one single source of the truth.
Stuff. And then lastly, as a Power BI user, Jordan, how would you say it makes your life easier?
Well, first and foremost, it's the first thing I go to every morning. I open my the overview of our Power BI dashboard, so we can see what's changing the business each day by day. So having that analytics just there in front of me on my phone, on my tablet, on my laptop, it just makes my life so much easier, so I don't have to go searching for information. Second to that, actually, when actually using Power BI Desktop, I really like the functionality that exists in there, which I'm not a developer, so actually being able to build these visualizations from our the data that we hold, it's really straightforward. In particular, the qualitative search function, so you can type in, I want to see revenue split by industry as a message, and then Power BI is clever enough to populate that question that you've typed in with a visualization. So that's probably my favorite part.
Excellent, good stuff. Well, thank you for that. And I can see that we're probably going to end up doing a series of these videos in future, but hopefully that answers some burning Power BI questions that many businesses out there may have.